Everyone, welcome to our biology class again. We were moving with our second chapter, main part of the second chapter that was completed with the last class. It was about eye. Today we are going to study about another part, that was the ear. We know ear is having two functions in our body, that was helping for the sense of hearing, and also it helps for the purpose of maintaining body balance. So ear is having two functions. One is sense of hearing and the other one is what? Maintaining body balance. So we can study everything step by step. Okay. For the easiness of our study, the ear can be classified into three major parts. They are, you can see in the screen, they are external ear, middle ear and internal ear. These are the three parts of what? Three parts of the ear. Which are they? External ear, middle ear and internal ear. Okay. When we study about these three parts, all the parts of the ear can be studied. That is the easiest thing. Okay. So it will be easy to remember, it will be easy to study and it will be easy to understand. So we can study one by one. First one, the external ear. Clear? You can see which are the parts of the external ear. Which are they? You can see three parts are there. First one, pinna. Pinna, or it is also called ear pinna. That is the first part. Second part, auditory canal. Auditory canal. And the third part, tympanum. You want to study to pronounce pinna, auditory canal and tympanum. Pinna means this part. Okay. That means the outer part of the ear that we can see outside. Then what is the function of pinna? It carries sound waves to the auditory canal. Next part is auditory canal. So this pinna carry the sound waves where to the auditory canal. That is the function of what? Pinna. Second part, auditory canal. Auditory canal means the longest tube-like part that can be seen after the pinna. This is the pinna. After this pinna, the part that can be seen is called auditory canal. That carries sound waves to the tympanum. Next part is tympanum. So pinna carry to auditory canal carry to next part tympanum. Okay. Then there are two ways to protect the ear from other small organisms and germs that you have to note. Okay. The auditory canal contain two parts to protect the ear that you have to note. First one is this one, small hairs and wax. These are the two things that can be seen for the protection of what? Ear. Which are the small hairs and wax present inside the canal help to prevent dust and foreign particle from entering the ear. That long sentence you don't want to study. Just remember the measures for the protection of the ear is present in the auditory canal. That is what? That is hairs and wax. That two words only is to be remembered. And the first sentence, what is the function of the auditory canal? It carry the sound waves to where? Sound waves to the tympanum. Next part. Okay. Yes. Next part is the tympanum. It is a thin circular membrane that separates the middle ear from the external ear. Next part of the ear is middle ear. This is the external ear. We are discussing about it. So external ear and middle ear is separated by whom? By tympanum. That is the first point. And it vibrates in resonance with sound waves. When the sound waves come, this tympanum will vibrate. In resonance means according to. So, according to the sound waves, the tympanum is vibrated. That is the function of what? Tympanum. So, two functions are there. One, separating middle ear and external ear. Second one, it vibrates according to the what? Sound waves. Is it okay? So, three parts, which are the pinna, then auditory canal, next tympanum. These three are the parts of which ear? External ear. Simply, it is not at all important. Anyhow, simply be studied. Okay. Next part, that is the middle ear. Middle ear is having only two parts, which are the one is ear ossicle and the other is Eustachian tube. Ear ossicle and Eustachian tube. Ear ossicle means it is a group of three bones, or it is a group of three small bones present inside the ear. They are, look, malleus, incus and stapes. Which are they? Once again, look in the screen, you can see the three bones. Which are they? They are these three: malleus, incus and stapes. And you know, this stapes is the smallest bone in the human body. We are having 206 bones now. Among these 206 bones, the stapes is the smallest bone. Anyhow, these three bones together are called what? Ear ossicles. Okay, that is the part of what? Or it is the part of middle ear. Then, what is the function of ear ossicle? It amplify and transmit the vibrations of the tympanum to the internal ear. You know, the sound waves, first it was carried by ear pinna, then it was carried by auditory canal, then it was reached in the tympanum. At that time the tympanum was vibrated. That vibrations will be amplified and it will be transmitted to the internal ear. That is the function of ear ossicles. So functions you have to note: amplify and transmit the vibrations of the tympanum to the internal ear. That is the function of whom? Function of ear ossicles. Next part is the Eustachian tube. Okay, Eustachian tube, it is a tube. From the picture itself you can see it connects the middle ear and the pharynx. Connecting middle ear and pharynx. That is the function of Eustachian tube. Then it protects the tympanum by balancing the pressure on either side of the tympanum. You know, on either side of the tympanum means when the air come from outside to the tympanum, then there will be air inside also. So when air come or air press the tympanum inside by entering the air through the ear pinna, so pressure will be different at both sides, on this outer side and inner side. So this pressure, air pressure, is maintained or it is kept balanced by the action of whom? Eustachian tube. So two functions are there: connect the middle ear and pharynx. Pharynx means the part that can be opening to the mouth. You know, if you are opening the mouth widely, the end that you can see, that is called pharynx. So connecting the middle ear and that pharynx, that is the function of whom? Eustachian tube, and balancing the air pressure on both sides of the tympanum. Clear? These are the functions of whom? Functions of Eustachian tube. Okay, related to this, there are many questions that is repeatedly asking for the question for the examination, that we will discuss in the revision classes. Okay. Next part, that is the internal ear. Okay, the parts of the internal ear you can see there now, which are the, it is semicircular canals. Three rings are there. They are perpendicular to each other. Or perpendicular to each other means one is perpendicular to the other, like that. Then another thing, vestibule, you can see. When I say the word, that you have to note or see in the picture, vestibule. So semicircular canal, it is 3 in number. Then vestibule, another one, cochlea. Did you see? These are the 3 main parts. Then apart from these 3, there are 2 nerves. That is also the part of, or they are also the part of internal ear. They are vestibular nerve and auditory nerve. Okay. These are the 3, or these are the parts of the internal ear. So once again, semicircular canal, then vestibule, vestibular nerve, auditory nerve and cochlea. Okay. Yes, then we can see them in detail. Then look, these parts we said. Then about internal ear. The internal ear is situated inside the bony case in the skull called bony labyrinth. You look, the ear pinna, this is only seen outside. All other parts are located inside. Especially the internal ear, the parts of the internal ear is located inside the skull. That area or that bony covering or bony case is called bony labyrinth. So parts of the internal ear is located inside a bony case called bony labyrinth. In this bony case, there are membranous labyrinth as well. That means inside this bony case there is a membrane cover also. Means soft tissues cover is also there, that is called membrane labyrinth. Then the space inside the membranous labyrinth is filled with a fluid named endolymph. Study very well. Look, so the parts of the internal ear, there is bony case and membrane case also. In the fluid inside the membrane case or membranous labyrinth is called endolymph. Okay. Bony case is there, membrane case is there, and fluid is also there inside. The fluid inside the membranous labyrinth is called endolymph, and the space between the membranous and bony labyrinth is filled with a fluid called perilymph. There is a chance for confusion for you. Look, inside or the internal ear, there is a membrane case and also bony case or bony labyrinth. The fluid inside the membrane case, that is called endolymph, and a fluid is filled in between the space of what? Membrane case or membrane labyrinth and bony labyrinth. Membranous labyrinth and bony labyrinth, the space in between these two is filled with another fluid that is called perilymph. Or you can say simply like this: the fluid filled in the space between membranous labyrinth and bony labyrinth is called perilymph. Okay. Then semicircular canal, then vestibule and cochlea are the main parts of internal ear. That already we explained. Then semicircular canal and vestibule help in balancing the body, whereas cochlea helps in hearing. Main 3 parts are there: cochlea, vestibule, semicircular tube. Okay, so our semicircular canal, their semicircular canal and vestibule help for body balancing, and cochlea helps for hearing. That's all. Okay, balance we will explain in the other classes. Now look, the shape of the cochlea. Cochlea was just like a snail shell in the last picture. When it was opened, it will be like this. Okay. Look, there are 2 parts you have to note. One is oval window and the other one is round window. There are 3 layers. There, the outer layer, just look here very well, this layer and this, one minute, this layer, there the line is touching, no? They are made with what? 1 second. Look, this line and this line. This is the bony case or case made with bones. And now you look, this one, that is the membrane case. Okay, so inside this membrane case it is endolymph, and now this area and this area, that is the space between membrane case and bony case. There the fluid is what? Perilymph. Okay, then oval window means, look, membrane seen attached to the stapes, then spread the vibration of the ear ossicle to the inner ear. Or look, stapes you can see in the picture here. Okay, then that stapes is connected with a membrane. That membrane is called oval window. That oval window, what? It spread the vibrations of the ear ossicle to the inner ear. Such a membrane is called oval window. So it is a membrane that is connected with the stapes, and it spread the vibrations of the ear to, or vibrations of the ear ossicle to the inner ear. That's all. Then next, round window. Just below that oval window there is another membrane. It helps in the movement of fluid inside the cochlea. Okay. So both are membranes. One is connected with the stapes, other one help for the movement of the fluid in the cochlea. The next, sense of hearing. Look, cochlea is a coiled tube like a snail shell. Okay, that I told you already. It consists of 3 chambers. That also we have seen in the last picture. Then specialized sensory hair cells which are present in the basilar membrane that separate the middle and lower chambers. Look, 3 layers are there. Then middle layer and lower layer is separated by a chamber or a membrane that is called basilar membrane. That membrane contains what? The receptors. Okay, look, specialized sensory hair cells. Sensory hair cells like receptors are there. They are present in the basilar membrane that separate the middle and lower layers. You have to note this point very well. Specialized sensory hair cells which are present in the basilar membrane separate the middle and lower chambers, function as auditory receptors. These words you have to note. So sensory hair cells, they are the receptors. Where they are present at the basilar membrane. Where is the basilar membrane? It is the membrane they separate the middle and lower chambers of the what? Cochlea. Then that function as what? Auditory receptors. So auditory receptors are what? Hair cells. Where they are present on the basilar membrane. Where is the basilar membrane? It is a membrane that separates the middle and lower layers of cochlea. Next point, you just look. The basilar membrane. Look, the basilar membrane and the sensory hair cells together constitute the organ of Corti. This word you have to note. So what is organ of Corti? Organ of Corti means basilar membrane plus sensory hair cells or auditory receptors. Basilar membrane plus auditory receptors. Auditory receptor means the hair cells. So basilar membrane plus the hair cells are called organ of Corti. That organ of Corti is the center of hearing in the ear. Center of hearing in the ear is the organ of Corti. Okay. Then next. So I think it is clear to you. The sound waves which pass through the external ear vibrate the tympanum. Now we are going to explain the flow chart that you have to fill last. I will not say the answer, you have to find out. So sound waves first, which pass through the external ear. External ear means ear pinna, auditory canal, then vibrate the tympanum. 3 parts are okay. External ear means pinna, auditory canal, tympanum. Vibrate the tympanum. This vibration of the tympanum is transmitted to the ear ossicle. Next part, ear ossicle. So sound waves, pinna, auditory canal, tympanum, ear ossicles. which cause vibration of the membrane in the oval window. After ear ossicle, oval window. This vibration further cause movement of the fluid inside the cochlea. So next part, cochlea. Then as a result, the sensory hair cells of the organ of Corti of the cochlea are stimulated. Next, sensory hair cells or auditory receptors, that you have to write. Okay. So next, point by point I am saying, you have to note it. Sensory hair cells, then organ of Corti stimulated, then impulses. Next step, impulses then are generated. These impulses reach the cerebrum through auditory nerve. Next, auditory nerve, then cerebrum, then last, sense of hearing. If you are writing these, it will be clear to you. Or that flow chart given at the lower part of this page is being filled. Once again, sound waves, pinna, auditory canal, tympanum, ear ossicles. Then after that, what we said, after ear ossicles, oval window, then cochlea, then hair cells or auditory receptors, then what? From there, impulses, then auditory nerve, then cerebrum, sense of hearing. That you can fill in this flow chart. Look, it is given there. Sound waves, pinna, auditory canal, then tympanum, ear ossicles, oval window, cochlea, hair cells, impulses, then auditory nerve, cerebrum, sense of hearing. You can fill now? Yes. Do it properly, right? I think you may have a confusion in the place where we discussed about what? Cochlea. 1 minute, I will take that page, this area. Here. So, no need for any confusion. Just understand the outer part in this picture. That outer line now, that is made with what? Bony labyrinth or bony case, or with bones. That is called bony case. Inside, middle, you look, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines you can see now. That area is called membranous labyrinth. Inside the membranous labyrinth, there is a fluid called endolymph, and in between, a line of arrow mark is going now. That area, that is in between, one side it is membrane labyrinth, the outer side it is bony labyrinth. That area is filled with what? Perilymph. That much only there. So study very well, watch repeatedly. After watching repeatedly, if you have doubt, you can ask. Simply after watching one time or skipping one time, don't ask. Somebody is there to ask simply what is the meaning, explain. That many questions they will send without watching the video properly. Watch properly and try to understand. I explained very well as you get it clear. Then after watching repeatedly, if it is not clear to you, you can ask. Okay? Don't simply send the questions to me as you are questioning me. Somebody is there like that. Anyhow, they are asking, they are clearing their doubt, but that method I don't like, because without trying their level, they are simply asking. That's not good. Okay? Try your level best by watching the video repeatedly. Then again, if it is not clear to you, you can ask. Okay? So, do well and study well. Don't forget, this is your year. Okay, try to score high mark for all the subject, especially the easiest subject, biology. Okay, I wish all the best for all. Then try your level best. I will be there with you to help you. Don't worry, I will help you in all the doubts and all other deeds. Okay, see you. Then thank you. Study very well. Have a nice day.